And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Anytime you're talking about fundamentals in a market and direction, fundamentals take a little bit of time to play out.
We got crude oil today, kind of trading yesterday's value area really nicely, low to high.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good afternoon, friends and traders. Welcome to the Market Recap. I am Dan Hodgman. It is Monday, January 10th. We are into our second week of the year, and, we got some nice two-way trade here. Like the title says, interest rates, that's the concern right now, that they're going to be raising these interest rates. People are a little bit concerned, and you saw it this morning. Equities kind of broke last night and continued lower today, and then here in about the last two and a half hours, we've seen a really nice upward move on those. Nasdaq went from minus, down 1%. Sorry, my dog's squeaking toys. Let's not, Sarge. You got Nasdaq going from about down 1% to now up 0.09%. So nice two-way move there. You've got S&Ps working their way pretty darn close to settlement price. That market's down just slightly at 0.13%, so 0.13%. You've got Nasdaq crude oil down a little bit here. Nothing to bat our eyes at, truthfully. We've seen extremely strong rally in crude oil over the last few weeks. We're just getting a little bit of relief here. When we look at the big picture, all this is just a little bit of a pullback and an uptrend. In my opinion, state has not changed. But we actually had some really nice opportunity to kind of go with that break that we saw starting during the London session. We really had some nice opportunity there, so that market broke. You've got gold. That's the only positive market here today. Kind of volatile again, typical off the open. Goes from high to low, rotates, gets a nice, really a nice bounce off that open, down off of the swing low and point of control from Friday. So we got a really good opportunity there. That market bounced, recovers all the way up to overnight highs, or just about. So really, when we define the inside, when we define ranges, we define our levels, and we say, okay, here are lows and here are highs. Where am I looking on lows? Well, when you have confirmation of two lows being right next to each other, that's a really good chance for a trade. Overnight low, point of control. Hey, that's an area I'm really going to be looking closely for an opportunity. You got Euro breaking this morning prior to the open, or off the open, broke pretty heavily down to Thursday's settlement price. That market, basically since John finished talking, kind of continued on a trend up until about 11 o'clock today and fell flat. That was right where that overnight consolidation was. We had some pretty strong volume there last night and then here again today. And then lastly, 10-year note, really good opportunity. Actually, this market opens up, breaks off a settlement price, checks overnight lows, recovers right back to settlement price, and going to end our day pretty darn close to unchanged there. So opportunity across the board, not bad for a Monday in my opinion. News, it's been relatively quiet here today. I think really the biggest thing here is Nasdaq snapping this losing streak, turning positive here today. I think it was actually closer to about 2% down, so that was a good opportunity there. And then interest rates. That's going to be the talk here coming into this year. That's going to be, we got two things that we really want to pay attention to throughout 2022. We're going to continue to keep an eye on that CPI number, right? We got to have an idea of what's going on with this inflation. Is it going to continue to rise? Are goods and services going to continue to cost us more out of pocket? I think we're all seeing it from all different facets of life. Everywhere you look, everything's a little bit more expensive. If you're buying a new car, those are up, and they're not really haggling on that initial price. Your used car, you're getting a lot of money for it if you're trading one in. Or if you're buying a used car, you're seeing these extreme values on those. So you have a lot going on right now that we want to continue to keep an eye on that CPI. So let's keep an eye on CPI this year. Let's keep an eye on interest rates. And those are going to be, in my opinion, some of the biggest ones that we're going to pay attention to here this year in the year of 2022. All right, everybody, let's go take a look at our charts, and we'll get down to business. And also, before I forget, Rivian is going to be one of the stocks that we're going to look at this year. I know everyone was asking about it last week. I think it's hard to argue Rivian. This stock is actually kind of pulled back right to our almost our IPO price, so we've got a good opportunity for a buy right now, so we'll keep an eye on that one. It is trading, ending the day here right around 81.44. 81.44 is the price on that Rivian stock, so let's keep an eye on that, and then we'll go from there. So think about it. Are we buying? Are we selling? And we'll talk that one afterwards, and if you guys have one that you want us to keep an eye on throughout the year, let's go ahead and make sure we do that. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our charts here and get down to business. And yes, I'm starting to feel a little bit better, but my voice is still a little nasally. But finally, kind of getting back on track. Got a haircut and everything, and no hat today. Pretty wild. Brian, good to see you. Liam, PK, P-Day, and Mo, good to see all of you guys there. Let's go ahead and take a look at these charts. Oops, I do have our 10-year note up. Let's close that one out. Let's make sure we look at our crude oil. 1 second, please. Shrink things down. All right, here we go. Crude oil settles Friday at 78.90. So we saw it Thursday. This is where we talk Thursday. Hey, got to keep an eye on this 80 mark, right? Does this market hold below 80, or does it rally above? Well, 80 broke down. That's where we saw the big sell-off Friday, and we kind of just continued here. We saw a pullback last night, but as soon as that London session opened up, or got going here today, we saw the sell-off really exacerbate or continue to the downside. Now, I'm not looking at this as market state change. We're just seeing a little bit of a pullback in a down or an uptrend market, right? We're looking for weakness for buying opportunities. So right now, today, what do we have? We watch this market kind of open up. We are still very comfortably within trend, right? So since we sold off, we are continuing. I want to continue this down. Here we go. So we're continuing to make lower highs, and we are making lower lows. So as a trader, what we want to do is we want to kind of continue to look for those opportunities. As we see strength, which we saw off the open here today, we saw their strength come in near consolidation from last night, or even near settlement price, 78.90. We saw that market pull right back to settlement. Market state didn't change. We're looking at a shorter time frame. Like we said, higher time frame, still trending higher, but as we look in shorter time frame, we are in a small downtrend. So what are we looking for here? We're going to look for a little bit of strength. Strength pulling back to settlement price. We like that. There's opportunity there to be had. Now, you've got two things you can do here. You can simply say, hey, if we accept, we can get in as this market approaches settlement price, or we can say, hey, I'm going to wait and see if it accepts above settlement. Either way you do it, doesn't hurt you. This market continued in the downtrend. So to me, this was our best opportunity all day. This market moves from settlement price. And then I'm just looking for that swing low from last Friday. Looking at that swing low, that to me is really our big opportunity. So a nice 60-cent range there, or 60-cent trade. Not huge ranges like we saw. We've been seeing a lot of lately in crude oil, but still opportunity nonetheless. Now, Nasdaq. This one's pretty interesting. This market has been breaking down quite a bit. And you know what? Off the open, it did exactly that. But all of a sudden, as soon as we started to recognize those lower lows were done, which is right here for me, this is it. Now we're in downtrend. We look for strength. We short the strength. As soon as we fail to make new lows, that's where we're getting out of that trade, and we're looking for rotation back to the upside. We're looking to see this market kind of stay inside today's ranges. Sergeant, my dog is squeaking this toy. Anyhow, where was I? Here we go. This market, as it fails to make new lows right here, and we start pressing higher, that's where we get to look for our rotation. Now we're looking for this market to possibly rotate. Where am I looking for it to go? I'm looking at overnight, this consolidation here overnight. That's as far as I'm really looking. I don't need to see this thing extend all the way up to Friday's value or Friday's range. It did here in the last 15 minutes, but that's not what I'm looking for. This really is, for me, what I'm looking at. I'm looking for this thing to fall into that consolidation. And this is a very long ago unchecked point of control right here at 46.30. Next, let's go ahead and look at the Nasdaq. All right, Nasdaq in this market. All right, I think I was called that one, the Nasdaq, in the very beginning. I did not mean to. It was S&Ps. This is Nasdaq here. This thing, same principle, though. Same thing applies. Now, here, I do have my Hull moving average, which is one of the indicators I personally love to use. And it helps me kind of determine if directional move is over. So this morning, we got Hull moving average up above, so up above where market's trading. As soon as the market or as that whole moving average moves below where the market's trading, look for that rotation. This is going to be a good indication. Now, this is not what you bet your entire day on or your entire strategy, but it's just a good confirmation. So we start to see this market failing to make lower lows, right? Hey, start to think market state's changing. Do I have confirmation? And all of a sudden I get confirmation. Once this whole moving average here comes lower than the market and the market's trading up above it, I'm going to look for that market to extend in that upwards direction. This one does really nicely. Pulls all the way back to Friday's point of control. We checked that point of control. We can check it off the box. All right, next, let's go ahead and look at the gold. All right, here we go, gold. Like we said, this market opens up, breaks down right to point of control. Right down to point of control. What do we have? Point of control, an overnight swing low. Boom. This is what I was saying before we logged into the charts. We've got good opportunity here. This market breaking down 2 levels to keep in mind. Bam. To me, this is a great trade to execute off of. When we have multiple levels coming into play, we're looking for support. We've found support at point of control once. We're going to look for it again. We got great support. Market rotates higher. And all this is a simple inside day. Rotates, goes from low right back to high where we have our overnight swing high. So that's what I'm looking at. Now, again, there's a million different levels. If we were to sit here and draw out every level, just what we have right now, we've got prior value, points of control, ranges, right? We've got multiple ranges. We've got prior day and prior overnight swing highs and lows. So we're going to have 10 different lines here or 10 different levels. It's how we watch and react around them. And when we start to see multiple coming into play, that's really where we want to look for a chance. All right, next, let's go ahead and look at the euro. Euro this morning, kind of the same thing as gold, broke down a little bit, or every market, I should say, broke down off the open. But here we go. We come to last week's kind of swing low. We have 1, 2, and pretty much 3 points down here where today's market kind of caught the bottom. And again, same principle. Start failing to make lower lows. Look for rotation back up to the inside. And this market rotates really nicely at overnight consolidation. Now, I was actually looking, once I saw acceptance inside value here, I was looking to actually see this press higher and kind of move up above this 113.50 level and through to point of control. Did not get there. So tonight and into tomorrow, let's keep an eye on this unchecked point of control up here at 113.63. All right, and lastly, let's look at the 10-year note. So 10-year note, really good opportunity here based off of simple levels we look at. We opened up. We got settlement price up above at 128.09 half. 128.09 half. So here we go. Here's our settlement price. And where was our high tick off the open? Boom. We opened up at settlement price. Where are we looking for this market to rotate? For me, I'm looking lower. It has been the trend. This market has been making those moves lower. So off the open, we're looking lower. We get it. And here's what I love. We bounced right off of overnight lows. So overnight levels really today played a key factor into everything. So we get a nice bounce off overnight lows, rally right back up to settlement price. So good opportunity across the board. Hopefully you guys were able to find that. Brody, Dan, low volume and ES, thoughts? 2 million contracts. It's far from low. That's a really big day for volume in the S&Ps. So not much to say there. Make sure you are looking at the March contract if you think today was low volume. But yeah, we got 2.1 million contracts. That's more than the 10-year note. 10-year note is the largest traded product in the world. 10-year note was 1.468, and S&P's 2.1, and then Nasdaq we saw 875,000. So that's a huge day for volume for those two equity markets. So huge volume here today. So make sure you are looking at the March contract if you're seeing low volume, just as a heads up there, Brody. All right, what do we got going on? Let's just glance at our Bitcoin. Continues this downward move, right? We were all the way at below 40,000 today. We bounced off at 39,500 up to 41,855. Daryl, good to see you. So Bitcoin kind of continuing this stepping lower. It's not a currency at this point, but it's something to pay attention to. We got a little concern out there. We're seeing equities kind of peel back. Is this Ether coin kind of bringing in different participation and creating a hedge or an offset to the Bitcoin? I don't know yet. Still a little early to tell when it comes to Ether. There's some good volume coming in over there. on that micro ether. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on that one. If it's something you guys like, let us know. All right, so like we said, Rivian, we're going to touch on this at the very end, but right now it's trading 81.44. IPO price was 72. It is valued at $73 billion market cap. We're seeing good volume in this. It is on the Nasdaq. This product, or this big company, is set and it has begun deliveries of vehicles so far this year. So let us know. Do we buy it or do we sell it? 81.44. I'm on the buy side, but I want to hear what you guys have to say there. I know they are sending out emails to a lot of people that have been on the list for quite some time. One of my friends included, that he'll be getting his car in the next 4 months. So they are making deliveries, and they are invested by or have backing from Ford and Amazon. So they got some big money behind them. All right, so no major news like we touched on already, but just glancing at everything else, just a couple of things we like to keep an eye on, right? Airbnb, $160 a share. GameStop kind of continues. I think the year of the meme is over. We got another down day here. 131.15. AMC, 22.78. Tesla, little uptick here. $1,058, up about $30 here today in Robinhood. I know I've still got it up, so I'm just going to keep glancing at it because it's just the next thing to click. Robinhood, another down day, $15.61. So pretty quiet there. So again, let me know what you guys think about Rivian. Are we buying it for the year or are we selling it for the year? Like I said, I'm on the buy side. I would love to buy it, but I want to know what you guys think. And we're going to pay attention to that one. It is at 81.44. We're going to make a note right now on my handy dandy sticky notes. I'm going to put it up on the wall. Rivian, 81.44. So that's our Rivian. We got the Rivian price. Now I just need you guys to tell me buying or selling. Buying or selling on that one. All right. Last but not least, let's take a look. And we can make this decision throughout the week too if we want to kind of continue to talk about it throughout the week. So last but not least, things to look forward to this week. Tomorrow, Jerome Powell speaking at 10 a.m. Be cautious. Pay attention. Wednesday, 7:30 a.m. You got the CPI number. Right? We got a big week here. You got Powell speaking, got CPI coming out. We just finished jobs numbers, a little questionable there. So a lot of numbers coming out here, starting this year off strong. All right, guys, that's what I got for us today. John will be back tomorrow morning, 7:45 a.m. Central Time. If you have not signed up already, make sure you get over to the Foundations classes with John. 4 days a week, 16 total classes over the next 4 weeks, an hour a day. Where John sits down, breaks down a ton of great information. So make sure you go join him if you haven't signed up for it already. All right, so like I said, he'll be back tomorrow morning, 7:45 a.m. Central Time with the market forecast. So until then, stay safe, wash your hands, trade smart, and trade well. Look forward to seeing you guys at the markets. Take care, everybody.